So you grew up with Jadakiss as little kids?
Yeah. Yonkers, New York. Same projects, same side of town. It was like our parents seemed had to move everywhere at the same time. Like when I get dropped off on Riverdale, Kiss was getting dropped off on Riverdale to his grandmother. And our parents lived on the same side of town on Ravine and Glenwood Gardens and all that. And his parents, like, and then when I get dropped off at my other grandmother's house, back then you get dropped off at your father's house or your mom's parents or whoever's, the grandparents' house. So I was in Whitney Young, he was in Whitney Young all the time. And his grandmother lived on the 3rd floor, I'm on the 1st floor. So we was always tight like that. And that's how, and then Styles was on a whole different side of town. He came along a little later. Yeah, but if you know the story, like, and Kiss was this rapping, he was rapping and shit for fun. No projects out or nothing like that, but for fun. And I was just with him like all the time. Like, damn, that's dope. We used to go upstairs from his grandmother's house to Steve Toon house, and he had one turntable, and his man used to cut while Kiss was rapping on beats. And I was like, yo, I want to do this, man. That's hot. How you put those words together like that? And that's how it was.
Okay. Did Kiss have the throat problems back then as a kid as well? Or
you said throat?
Did that come later?
The throat problems?
Well,
nah, it sounds like a computer chip is in there or something, right? Like, yeah. Nah, that's just him. He actually never had no problem. It's no problem with his throat.
Really? Because I'd heard, maybe I'm wrong, but I'd heard that he needed to get his as an adult, he would have to go to the hospital every so often to kind of get his
sinus
throat
and all
kind of
that?
cleared out. Or,
nah,
that's
never.
Not true?
Hell no, not that. Well, shit, Kiss, you got to tell me about that unless you keeping it from me. Nah, never that. Nah, Kiss just automatically, that's how he sound from back then on up to now. That's his voice, for real, for real. I told him, we told him years ago, what you call that shit? That the voiceover shit was inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta do that shit. Like it's crazy.
Okay, just a very unique voice.
Yeah, I gotta ask her that shit. Yo, how long you been going to the hospital for your voice, bro? I'm gonna ask her that shit. Definitely unique. Yeah, and
okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess you and Kiss form a group called the Bomb Squad. Initially?
Yeah, Bomb Squad. We was also the Warlocks. Yeah, man, all that. We was rapping. We started rapping and making mixtapes all around Yonkers. The regular TDKs, put the tissue on top, push dub and record and all that. And started this giving them out to people. Because the other side had fucking like Luther Vandross on the other side, and one side had like 8 songs of the Bomb Squad and the Warlocks, and just giving them to people, and then finally bringing them to high school and selling them for $5 a tape. And that's how, we couldn't hold them. Everybody, the whole school wanted them and everywhere else, and it was cool, man. Yeah.
Okay, now, were you familiar with the production crew, the Bomb Squad, with Chuck D in them, or?
Nah, well, yes and no. Not as much as the older person would have been, but I think so. We knew it was another Bomb Squad, but our shit was more like running around Yonkers and battling people and this and that. But I'm definitely familiar. It wasn't. I don't think at the time we was making enough noise for them to even care either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you guys renamed yourselves to the Warlocks.
The Warlocks around like that Gravedigger era, that horrorcore.
Okay.
It was around that when that kind of rap. And yeah, that's how he was. But we wasn't all the way on it, but that's when that started coming along. Yeah, so that's how we got that.
Yeah, what was that called? Horrorcore?
Horrorcore, absolutely hardcore rap and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember had a little glimmer in hip hop. It kind of came and went.
That's it. That's what it was. That's what it was, man. Word.
And then I guess you and Kiss showed up on Main Source's second album.
Yeah. That's when I think Large Pro they left.
Yeah, Large Professor had already quit the group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
I remember
and
that.
I guess the album, it didn't really come out. I guess it kind of came out a bit later.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened with that song. I remember doing a song, and I think at the time the Mushmen took us over there to them. It was the dudes we had a pre-production thing with, and met everybody, and just did that shit. That's crazy how we came full circle back with Large Pro. All right.
Yeah. Now, at the time that you guys were coming up, was DMX coming up around the same time?
Yeah. X was there already, actually. X is older than us. You know what I mean? Like, X been a legend to us. X been famous to us in Yonkers before y'all actually ever heard of X. We heard them, we knew he was on fire. X was really, really out there in the street, like robbing people and all that shit he's saying in his rhymes, he was doing in Yonkers. He was doing crazy shit. That nigga was wild with it, but rapping and battling people. Then he with the dogs, he was loving the pit bulls and all that. So he was a star to us back then. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no. I interviewed his ex-wife, and I mean, she said flat out. I mean, he was addicted to crack. He would rob people. For a hit, and then get back to the studio.
Absolutely, and record it.
In fact, I mean, there was that famous story when I guess Leo Cohen first heard him rap, and his jaw was wired shut.
I remember that.
From getting into a fight.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. He had an altercation, and then he got hit or whatever, but was still making him. He was doing that. He was rapping like that before Kanye did that shit through the wire. X did that back then. I know X was like, nigga, I did that first, man. All right.
Okay, so here you guys are. You guys are in Yonkers. You know, the Warlocks is now a thing. Styles P is part of the group, and you guys putting demos together.
Yeah.
And was it Mary J. Blige that kind of?
Let me tell you though, I gotta tell you, Styles P is part of the group, but it wasn't no group. It was still me and Kiss, and we wanted to sign Styles. We was that young thinking like that. Yo, we gonna sign Styles. We gonna get him a deal and all that. And yeah. But it was still one big organization, like the crew, but we knew we had an artist. You know, and then Mary was taking them little demo tapes that I used to tell you about, them TDK joints, and bring them around to everybody on tour. She was blowing up and shit, and like we'll leave them in. She used to let me in. Her cousin name is Jamarco, J-Bop, right? And he used to get Mary's car. They extra tight. He go on the road with her and shit. He'll get the Jeeps, Cherokees, the Rangers, and all that, and then she'll let us ride around, and we riding around blasting Wu-Tang and just loving it. We'll leave the tapes in the car, so she started hearing them, and she started taking them on the road with her. And Puff and everybody, and that's how that took place. Word. Okay,
so, and by this point, was Bad Boy already, was Craig Mack out and Biggie out and everything else like that?
Yeah. Nah, they was, when we weren't famous, we didn't even get on yet. They was out, they was doing their thing. Hell yeah. Craig Mack, Biggie.
So Puffy was already starting to blow up.
Yeah, he was starting to blow
Bad
up.
Boy.
Yeah. We always refer to them as the Chicago Bulls. They was that. They was about to be that.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys, came to Puff. He heard you guys, and then he instantly signed you?
Nah. She took us there. She took us to the office and all that, and we went up there, and he had us rap. And he was just chilling, like listening. Puff on that cool shit. It's like, all right, dope. Let me hear some more. And then we started rapping again. Then we left. I think it was like a day or two later, he was talking contracts and paperwork. Yeah, that's how that went with us. Word. And we wasn't even sure yet, because I remember. Yo, dude, we had, I tell a story all the time, we had Chubb Rock try to sign us back then. This dude named Dave Hall, Eddie F. Several people was trying to sign us. And Mary put Suge Knight on the phone, called my mom's house. Suge Knight called my mom's house. That's the time when like, yo, I go in my mom's room, get on the phone, Kiss, go in the kitchen, use that phone. And we like, yo, what? And we, the long cords and shit. Come around looking at each other like, yo, and Suge like, yo, I need y'all to come out here, man. Y'all shit is hot. And yada, yada. I guess, before we signed with Puff. Yeah, crazy shit. We had some bidding. We had some bidding, got.
Okay. Well, I mean, you could probably say at that time that Death Row was probably hotter than Bad Boy, because the Chronic was out and Doggy Style, and
absolutely,
they were just completely on fire.
Absolutely. It was like it was either that Puff in New York, or you had other like indie labels that was doing their thing and all that, but like Puff was on his way to be that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then it was Suge and him. Yep.
When you signed the deal with Puff, did you have lawyers involved and to look over everything?
The whole nine. We had our management. DNY was our management.
Ah, right.
Yeah, that's our management at the time. And then and I gotta say, nothing to do with Mary. Mary put us in position and stepped back like, yo, y'all got this. Didn't ask for a fucking nickel. Not even when we blew all the way up millions and millions of records, she still didn't ask for nothing. Nothing. I told her I love her the other day. I had her on our podcast. I was like, yo, fucking love you, Mary. Like, she never asked for nothing from us. Most people would have been like, yo, like as successful as the Locks, get back into it with us. Nah, never asked for nothing. But so she did that, stepped off, and then but in full support, all the way in full support for us. And then got the lawyers, did the paperwork with Puff. And let's be clear, all the Puff paperwork at the time was legit, standard stuff. Standard. He didn't pull no tricks. Wasn't no kind of nothing in there. Like later, like we was, at the time you're young and then you getting frustrated, you start to say like, oh, the contracts and this and that. Nah, no, it wasn't, man. We knew, we seen what we were signing. Our lawyers seen what we were signing, and DNY seen it. Everybody seen it. So it was no blame.
Right. And you guys were brand new artists at the time with no track record. And people really need to understand that when it comes to these record deals, 9 out of 10 new artists end up losing money.
Absolutely.
So you're not going to get the best deal fresh off the block.
You have no equity in the game right there. You just hot on the streets, but not everywhere else, so to say, right? You get what I'm saying? You're making your mark, you're making your bones, but it ain't going to show legally on contract yet. So that's how that went.
Okay.